Drew McIntyre comments on his return to Raw and his upcoming match with Goldberg. Six-time world champion takes a shot at WWE Hall of Famer, and the wrestling world explodes after Dustin Poirier knocks out Conor McGregor at UFC 257. Hello everyone, Jose G here, bringing you today's top stories in today's SK Wrestling News Roundup. Drew McIntyre comments on his return to WWE RAW and his upcoming match against Goldberg. Drew McIntyre recently shared his thoughts on his return to Monday Night Raw and his upcoming match against Goldberg at the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre shared a post on his Twitter page and he commented on his return to Raw. The Scottish superstar will be making his first live appearance after 2-week absence, as he tested positive for COVID-19 earlier this month. In the tweet, the King of the Claymore Country reminded his fans that he will be making his return to the latest episode of Raw before the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. His opponent Goldberg will also be at the show. Drew McIntyre then shared his thoughts on getting into the ring with what he described as one of the most destructive forces in wrestling history. Of course, Drew McIntyre threw a joke about Goldberg in his tweet. He remarked that the WCW icon does not get paid by the hour. McIntyre ended the post with a picture of Goldberg's parody, Gilbert, doing his iconic pose. If Drew McIntyre successfully defends his title at the Royal Rumble, the possibilities are endless. He might enter another high-profile feud, and this program might run all the way until WrestleMania 37. With that being said, McIntyre will also have to worry about the winner of the 30-man elimination match, as this superstar will get a world title match of his choosing. Drew McIntyre will also have to keep an eye on The Miz. The A-lister recently regained his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he will be looking to successfully cash it in this time period. Either way, Drew McIntyre has his hands full on the road to WrestleMania 37. Bianca Belair reveals the origins of her EST nickname. Bianca Belair revealed the origins of her nickname EST, which goes all the way back from her first promo on NXT. Bianca Belair is a former track and field athlete who currently works as a professional wrestler with the WWE. She works on WWE SmackDown brand along with her husband and fellow professional wrestler Montez Ford. On the new episode of WWE Chronicle, Belair claimed that it was only during her appearance at the Mae Young Classic that she finally started feeling that wrestling is for her. Additionally, Belair revealed the origins of her EST nickname and began with her first ever promo on NXT. She read it out exact words as a promo as well, saying, quote, "I'm gonna go right to the point. Here in NXT, I'm bringing the EST. I'm the prettiest woman on the roster. I'm the strongest woman in this ring, and I'm on a whole other level." That was my first promo. This is definitely the moment where I thought that I had made it. I called my mom and I'm like, I got my very first promo 3 months in, like I'm here. This is where EST came from because it started as EST, and it was just, I'm the EST, the prettiest, and the strongest, and the baddest, and the toughest. Oh, EST, NXT, it all rhymes. The EST of NXT, EST of WWE. So this is where the EST came from, end quote. Six-time world champion takes a shot at WWE Hall of Famer. Goldberg recently returned on Raw Legends Night to challenge WWE Champion Drew McIntyre for a match at the Royal Rumble. Six-time world champion Booker T was not very thrilled at the idea of Goldberg returning and believes Goldberg is pushing him. Booker T said that it is a young man's game, and after an age, superstars should call it a quits. The five-time WCW world champion said that McIntyre has grown into a top performer and Goldberg may have a mistake by challenging him. Speaking on WWE's The Bump, Booker T emphasized that it is more important for a younger superstar to make a mark for themselves. He said that he will not be rooting for the old guy and would want Drew McIntyre to shine in his match against Goldberg, saying, quote, "You know, Goldberg is pushing it. Man, everybody loves the nostalgia, but this is a young man's game. Drew McIntyre, he's my guy. I said before that Drew McIntyre is going to be the champion in this business. I always pushed him over to the side and whispered in his ear, hey man, do this, change that. You're on the right track," end quote. The former King of the Ring has had big praise for the Scottish superstar and revealed how he has evolved as a competitor in WWE, saying, quote, "And now you go back to when he first came in where how he looks now. He's a grown man now. He came in as a kid. Goldberg could be barking up the wrong tree. I'm not going for the old guy. Once you get past that number, bruh, you might want to rethink things." So we're gonna see how things play out. But if I had money, I'd put my money on Drew McIntyre. It's gonna be quick, end quote. Former WWE Champion reveals how Vince McMahon was caught dancing to his entrance music. In a recent interview, former WWE Champion Jinder Mahal revealed how Vince McMahon was once caught dancing to his entrance theme. Jinder Mahal will be part of the WWE Superstar Spectacle, which will take place on January 26 on India's Republic Day. A number of Indian WWE superstars will be showcased in the event, along with top main roster stars. Jinder Mahal recently spoke to WWE Now India, and during the interview, Jinder was asked whether he had ever danced to his theme song. Mahal said that he did not, but he did have a funny story about how Vince McMahon was once spotted dancing to it. Jinder did not see this himself, but was told about it by Tamina, saying, quote, "I do not, but there is one person who was caught dancing to it. I didn't see it. This is gonna be hilarious." So Tamina was the one who told me that she was in Gorilla, where she makes our entrance right before the stage and the ring. This is where Vince McMahon sits. Vince McMahon sits there with all monitors and he watches. So she told me that when my music hit and I went out, Vince McMahon's dancing on his table to my entrance music. So although I have not, Vince McMahon has, end quote. Jinder Mahal will return in action at the WWE Superstar Spectacle scheduled on January 26. The wrestling world explodes after Dustin Poirier knocks out Conor McGregor at UFC 257. The main event of UFC 257 saw a lightweight championship blockbuster match between the notorious Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. The fight was a rematch from their first bout in 2014, which was won by McGregor. In an incredible fight, the talented American shocked the combat sports world after his second-round TKO win over Conor McGregor. This win meant that the Louisiana native now has a 1-1 record against McGregor. The crowd in the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi witnessed the upset, with Poirier, who went into the fight as an underdog, flooring McGregor in the second round after a series of strikes followed by a clinical hook to the chin. McGregor has started the fight strong, with Poirier persisted on working the Irishman's leg, and the strategy paid off in the end as the world watched the American pull off a spectacular win. A number of WWE superstars commented on McGregor's Poirier fight, including Natalya and former UFC fighter Shayna Baszler. It'll be interesting to see what lies ahead for Conor McGregor. He did say in the post-fight that he will be competing again in 2021. Thanks for watching today's SK Wrestling News Roundup. For more news stories, follow us on all social media. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.